की स्पेसिफिक दिया हमारे ने
मैम पता ही नहीं यार आप लोग स्कूल में नहीं ना
कब लिखा होगा
फुल पेज लिखा
तो
फुल पेज से मतलब नहीं है, पॉइंट्स कितने थे?
पॉइंट्स नहीं पैराग्राफ में लिखा
तो एसएसटी पैराग्राफ में लिख के आ रहा।
अरे डेमोक्रेसी का वाला जो था ना मैं उसमें पैराग्राफ का बोला
नहीं उसे उसमें हमें बोला था पॉइंट्स में लिखो ना मार्क्स ही नहीं
हम लोग को कुछ बोला ही नहीं मैम पॉइंट्स में लिखने के लिए
टाइम तुमके रहे चलो आई थिंक दिस चैप्टर अभी डन की थोड़ा सा बाकी है। आई थिंक वी डन विद दिस चैप्टर नो take out and check. I think we are here, poultry farming. I think this is what we were doing. Check.
Where is this?
We finished. Take out. Take out. Check. What was the last topic we were discussing? Finance. Tell me. Take out your notebook, take out your volume with your mom. Take.
Mom, we did fish production. We were on fish production.
Fish
Production. Now stop.
Okay. Pisciculture. So let us talk about fish culture. What is fish culture? Known as fish farming. The scientific method of rearing, caring, breeding of fishes. What is the definition of fish culture? What is the definition of pisciculture? The scientific method. The scientific method of rearing, caring, and breeding. The scientific method of rearing, caring, and breeding of fishes is known as pisciculture. The scientific method of rearing, caring, and breeding of fishes is known as pisciculture. So, exactly same like plants, exactly same like poultry, for fishes also, there are some definite methods of breeding them, there are some definite methods of feeding them, etc. So, see here, we talk about the fish production. What are the most common type of fishes? Commercially produced. We talk about the shellfishes, we talk about the pomfrets, we talk about the tuna, we talk about certain type of fishes which are of great importance, and on top of that we talk about mollusks. Now mollusks are what? These are not fishes, remember, but now that we are talking about fish culture, pisciculture, why are we talking about mollusks here? Because these are of great economic importance. These serve as food. So these are of great economic importance. So prawns, remember, now in this concept we will also talk about prawns. So prawns and mollusks are not at all fishes. What are the two types? Now we talk about the two types of fish farming. What are the two basic types? The two basic types of fish farming would depend on what type of water body, freshwater body or marine water body. freshwater body or marine water body. So when we talk about freshwater, you are already aware what is the meaning of freshwater body: the river, the lake, the pond, freshwater body. Marine water body, sea, ocean. So when we are talking about the type of fishes, obviously different in them. So what is that? First of all, we talk about capture farming. See here, this particular words you'll have to take a note. Capture farming, we talk about capture fishing and culture fishing. So these are the two types. What are the two types of pisciculture? The two types of pisciculture you'll have to remember: capture fishing, capture fishery, and culture fishery. Capture fishery is one, and culture fishery is another. Culture fishery. So what is the difference between capture fishery and culture fishery? Capture fishery means we are uh, in a particular big water body, sea or ocean, big river. If it is capture fishery, then what has been done? Capture. Fishes have been captured, meaning that whenever we are talking about capture fishery, different areas of the water body is selected. In the same big sea or the ocean, certain areas are selected, and in that certain particular area, the process of fishing is practiced. So the fisherman or the fish breeder would go to that particular region. A particular zone of the water body is given to him. A particular zone of the water body is given to him. Now, if you feel that is it difficult, is it possible that we can mark a boundary in the sea and the ocean? Yes, they are able to understand. So, and they have got certain no fish nets or something, some baits and all. They put a boundary. So every particular fisherman would have one particular area. So now, if it is a concept of capture fishery is in the natural habitat wherever the fishes are growing. In the natural habitat wherever the fishes grow, the fishes are allowed to grow there only. But if it is culture fishery, artificial ponds are made more or less same like the lake or the river or the pond or the sea. And artificial ponds are made, artificial water reservoirs are made, and then the fishes are cultured there. So when we are talking about that, artificial tanks are made, artificial reservoirs are made, and in these artificial reservoirs, the fish eggs are spread out, and now the fish eggs will grow. So is this growing and culturing of the fishes happening in the natural habitat of the fishes? No, it is happening in an artificial habitat. If it is happening in an artificial habitat, then what do we call it as? Culture fishery. And if same in the lake or in the pond or in the river or in the sea, the process of farming is happening without disturbing the natural habitat of the fishes, then that is what is known as capture fishery. Okay, so two types. Then based on what type of water sources we are talking about, are the fishes that we get in the freshwater body and the marine water body, are they the same? Can you give me one or two examples of freshwater body fishes? Do you know, aware, any example?
Salmon.
Salmon, it is a sea, marine fish. So if I talk about the salmon is there, the herring is there, the tuna is there, and then we talk about all the big fishes. Most of the big fishes are marine fishes. Trouts, all marine fishes. Trout, salmon, herring, tuna, these are all marine fishes.
Is that not a river?
Trouts are not. It's always in the estuary basically. It's always in the estuary. Then if I talk about the lake fishes or say the river fishes majorly, the river fishes, big rivers, large amounts of fish culture happens there. And when we talk about the freshwater fishes, then what type of fishes are we talking about? We are talking about the variety of carps. Carps are there. Then we talk about the rohu. Carps means what? So basically the rohu and the katla and the anabas, all these different types of the grass carp, all these. So when we are talking about the different types of fishes, see they based on what type of water body the process of fishing is being done, culturing is being done. Fish culture can be brought about in two specific areas. So which are the two specific areas? One is if it is in the safe habitat, capture. If it is artificially done, culture. And if it is in the freshwater done, then freshwater fisheries, and if it is done in the saltwater, then in the marine fisheries. Look into one word here. When we are talking about some examples, check here, all these examples are there. We talk about all these examples. Now, when we are looking into all these examples, Bhetki that we are talking about, can you see these names there? Mullet and Bhetki and pearl spots, shellfishes such as prawns. Now, if I talk about the mullets and the Bhetki and the pearl spots, mullets and the Bhetki, these are basically, again, big river water fishes. Mullets, Bhetki. But then again, when we are talking about the pearl spots, shellfishes, these are again sea fishes. Prawns are again found in the sea, basically, prawns, or sometimes in the estuaries also, prawns. Mussels and oysters definitely in the sea. Mussels, oysters, always in the sea. So all these are different examples. But at the same time, remember, the prawns, mussels, and oysters that we are talking about, they are actually not fishes. Mussels, oysters, prawns, these are a particular group of organisms known as arthropoda. You can understand this prawns and the shrimps that we talk about. These are close to the insects that we get. Insects. Mussels, close to the snails that we know. Snail group of organisms. What is the meaning of mariculture? What is the meaning of mariculture? Mariculture would basically mean culturing fishes in the marine water. Marine water means sea ocean. So culturing fishes in the marine water, or say otherwise the culturing of seawater fishes. Mariculture. Freshwater resources, where would you find freshwater fishes? Very simple to remember, if it is a tank, pond, river, lake, etc. And fish reserves, when we are talking about fish production. I had already talked about one concept known as mariculture, and now we talk about the aquaculture. Mariculture was what I discussed just now. Culturing of fishes in the marine environment, marine habitat. Then what is aquaculture? Aquaculture would be culturing of both marine as well as freshwater fishes together. So culturing of, if I talk about aquaculture would include mariculture and culturing of freshwater fishes both. But mariculture specifically means marine fishes. Understand? So aquaculture, when I am talking about aquaculture, would basically mean culturing fishes both. Now I may talk about two specific tanks side by side, where I am growing Bhetki also. In one particular I am growing Bhetki and carp, and in the other one I am growing some shellfishes, tuna, and some mackerels. So what am I doing? I am doing freshwater fishes also and marine water fishes also side by side. So that is what is known as aquaculture. Different types of fish culture. Now this is important for you. Let us talk about the different types. One type of fish culture you come across is integrated fish culture system. Integrated fish culture system. So when we are talking about integrated fish culture system would mean that we are talking about certain type of fishes which are grown in some waterlogged areas of croplands. For example, what is the meaning of integrated fish culture system? Integrated fish culture system here means I am talking about the waterlogged area of the rice fields, the waterlogged area of the paddy. Now the waterlogged area of the rice fields and the paddy, what to do? How that can be made even more advantageous. The waterlogged area, the rice plants are very much growing, but in that same waterlogged area, which is divided because it is a big stretch of land, waterlogging is very much necessary for rice and paddy.
Small area.
So a major part of the area is used for growing of paddy or rice, and almost a 1/4 or half of that waterlogged area used for growing smaller type of fishes. Now obviously in that small area we cannot grow big fishes. Marine fishes we can never grow there, but we can grow some carbs. Carbs are maximally grown there. So in that small area of few meters of area where water logging is already there, but instead of growing only the rice or the paddy in that entire stretch of land, divide the land in such a way that 2/3 of it is paddy rice and 1/3 of it is fishes. Small fishes can easily be grown. Prawns can easily be grown. Prawns can easily be grown. Pomfrets can be grown. Carps can be grown. And if that is so, then this is what we talk about as integrated fish culture. Then what is composite fish culture? Composite fish culture was same like mixed farming that we had studied. Mixed farming, remember what was it?
Planting different types of plants like in the kind of place.
In the same land, planting 3-4 types of crops at the same time. What was the benefit? That all the nutrients of the soil is used up. If one type of a plant is infected by some pathogens or bacteria, fungi, the other types will not be affected because one type of a pathogen will not infect all the types of plants. So even if the farmer is losing one type of a crop, the other 4 types is still there. The other 5 types is still there. So now that I talk about the composite fish culture system, now in case of the composite fish culture system, what happened? We are talking about a particular reservoir that has been made artificially. A big tank, a huge big tank made artificially. Now in this huge big tank which is made artificially, what is done? Layers of water is there. Now basically when we are talking about the process of fish culture, we don't actually consider that, we don't understand that that is possible. But yes, that is the real situation inside the river also, inside the sea also. The water is actually divided into layers. And now, if I say that there are some 10 different type of fishes in the river, if I talk about that there are almost about 10 different types of fishes in the river, and this is the uppermost layer, yes, the river is actually divided into certain layers. And here there will be a type of fish here, there will be another type of a fishes here, there will be another type of a fish here, and a type of a fish here. After a particular depth, we don't get to see living organisms there. So now the entire water body is divided into certain strata, certain levels, and every particular strata we come across. Yes,
Ma'am, is there any level like where we can't find fish?
Yes, that is all. That is known as the profundal zone of the water body. In the profundal zone of the water body, the light does not reach. Light does not penetrate. So at that particular depth, we don't come across this type of bigger animal forms at all. So now that we are talking about in these different layers, every particular fish. Now if I may talk about in this particular river, there are 15 different types of fish at the same time developing, growing, existing. But is it that all the 15 types in the same layer of the water body? Not at all. They are not crowding that way. Some another 3 types maybe in the first layer, another 6 types in the second layer, another 5 types in the third. But why like that? Every particular type of a fish has a definite requirement of oxygen, definite requirement of temperature, definite requirement of the pH of the water. So all these parameters and the nutrients which are dissolved in the water. Now, I'm not talking about an aquarium where we are giving the artificial nutrients every day, but this is a natural water body. The amount of the nutrients in different layers are different. So why do we naturally find that in different layers the types of fishes are different? Maybe I come across that the third layer of the water body has got maximum concentration of fishes. Why like that? Because the amount of the nutrient must be maximum there. Sunlight penetration must be optimum, not exactly too much like the upper layer. So in the upper layer, basically we don't come across too many type of fishes present, that's why. The upper layer of any type of a water body is mainly concentrated or inhabited by various different type of algae. Various different type of algae growing there. So when we are talking about the fishes, the different type of fishes that we understand, this different type of fishes that we are talking about, the fish, different varieties, what would these different varieties relate to? These different varieties would very much relate to the presence of the different varieties would relate to the presence of the different type of nutrients, the amount of the dissolved oxygen, etc., etc. But if you have to develop a artificial, if you have to develop a artificial, uh, if you have to develop a artificial, this one, pond, how do I make? I want to grow 4 types of fishes there. I want to grow 4 types of fishes there. Now that the tank I made, what are some of the precautionary measures that I have to check? I have to find out first of all the 4 types of fishes that I grow should not be all of the same layer. So I will understand that in the first layer there are fish types A, X, and Y, and B, and then for example B is there, and F and G is there, and then something around K is there, L is there, M is there. But now that I prepare an artificial pond, I have made an artificial pond, but here my objective is I want to grow 5 types of fishes at the same time. But to grow 5 types of fishes at the same time, can I choose all these 3 at the same time? No, I should not. I may choose X, I may choose F, I may choose M, I may choose D. Yes, now I can choose this type of fishes. Number 1, what are the rules? What are the precautions? Choose 4 types of fishes, 5 types of fishes, which should be residing or which should be able to reside in different layers of the water body. Number 2, I have to choose these fishes believing also knowing fully well that none of them will be the predator of each other. One fish should not eat up on the other. This should not eat up on the other. None of them should be predators of each other. Otherwise, the production will be disturbed absolutely. So yes, but then in the living, in the normal condition, if I talk about the natural habitat of the sea and the ocean, does one type of a fish feed on the other? Yes, it happens. But now I'm talking about a culture method. In the culture method, obviously, I will not select. If I see that C is feeding on F, then C absolutely I'm not taking. Because the moment I put C and F together, yes, C will again go up to feed on F. So I don't take that C at all. So why, in case of composite fish culture, the types of fishes that we choose should have different criteria? Yes. What is the criteria? What is the size of the fishes? Can we take all big size fishes here? No, we cannot. We have to take some 1 or 2 big size and some another 3, 4 medium size, not too big. But along with the big fishes, can I take very small fishes like the tuna and all? No, because they'll definitely eat up. So if I have to take small, then I have to take 4 types of small fishes, 5 types of small fishes only. Then why select fishes so that they can reside in different layers so that the nutrients of the water can be used up? The oxygen, the differential amount of the oxygen can be used up. None of them should be predating on each other. None of them should be eating up on each other. For example, see this point here. See this point here. So when we are talking about this particular point, as a result, the food available in all the parts of the pond is used. As katlas are surface feeders, rohus are the middle zone feeders, briggles and the carps are the bottom feeders, and grass carps feed on the bottom layer weeds. Together, these species can use all the food of the pond without competing for each other. I take 4 types of fishes which are all residing in the middle layer. What is the problem that I will suffer from? After 6 months or after 4 months, my production will not increase much because all of them are middle layer feeders. They all are competing for nourishment. The growth and development of the fishes are not that big enough, are not adequate enough. So that's why we have to choose fishes of different layers. Disadvantage. What is the disadvantage of this? Yes.
You said like we can't select one like a fisher of one level at the same time, like many people. But like we can give them excessive amount of like
Nutrients.
nutrients.
Excessive amount of nutrients, yes, but that is in an artificial situation given as it is. So if I take in the bottom layer, I take 5 types of fishes, and out of the 5 types, I have selected 4 types which are all in the same layer present. I may give food adequately every second day. I'm giving adequate amount of nutrient, but still there's a competition. So some type of fishes will get more of it, and some type of fishes will get less of it. So instead of this, if I would have chosen 4 types in different layers, then when I get the nutrients, when I give different type of nutrients, each of the 4 are growing at a faster rate, which is not happening in the previous case. In the previous case, maybe 2 are growing very faster, and another 2 are not able to. Because just like human, certain fishes also are too aggressive in their behavior. Certain fishes will not be able to compete and fight. So same thing that we come across, that if this is a condition where I would have taken 4 types of fishes in 4 different layers, the nutrient absorption and the growth would have been much more. The nutrient absorption growth would have been much more, and the competition would have been lesser. No predation would have happened. Disadvantages. One problem with composite fish culture is that many of these fishes breed only during the monsoon. That is one of the major problems that the farmers generally suffer from. Can the process of fishing be practiced all over the year, especially when I talk about capture farming? Can capture farming be done all over the year? Capture farming cannot be done all over the year. That's the reason culture farming. Capture farming cannot. It's a natural habitat we are talking about. No, the water parameter, temperature, everything keeps on changing, and it is the monsoon time when it is very suitable. Monsoon time, the growth of fishes is maximum. The egg production is maximum because of the temperature and humidity, etc. So is that happening again when I talk about the summer months, May or April or May? No, in the month of April, May, this is somehow not possible. In the month of December, January, again, is it possible fishing in the sea and the water, especially talk about cold places? Not at all. Talk about cold places in the month of December, January, the water is so cold, the process of breeding in the cold water is not possible. So for the farmer, it becomes it becomes a short period within which they have to try farming as much as possible, because the monsoon is the time when fish breeding happens maximum. Next is we talk about beekeeping, the last concept, beekeeping. What are some of the, yes, beekeeping, the scientific method of caring, rearing, breeding for honeybees. What is that known as? Apiculture. I love that word there, apiculture. What is apiculture? Apiculture is the process of scientific methods of rearing, caring, and feeding the honeybees. Same exactly here, the indigenous and the exotic breeds you are supposed to remember. Indigenous breeds would be the Apis indica. These are the Indian breeds, originally Indian breeds. And what are some of the exotic breeds would be Apis mellifera. So Indian breeds, some other breeds are also there, like the Apis dorsata also, that's an Indian breed. But when we talk about the Apis dorsata, Apis florae is the smallest breed of honeybees that is been found. And what are some of the processes? Where is this process happening? Now, this concept of honeybees, of course, somewhere or the other you must have read. When we talk about the concept of honeybee production, where is honeybee normally? Where do we get to see the production? In the beehives, which may be attached to some tree branches or etc. on the surface of some walls, etc. That's a normal. But otherwise, artificially also a person wants to go for bee farming. Then what is the person supposed to do? He is supposed to make an artificial hive, which is known as an apiary. So an artificial hive he has to make with some wooden shelves and chambers, and the entire space inside the wooden chamber has to be divided into small cell-like, compartment-like structures. This is what is actually more or less there in the honeycomb. So the honeycomb, the basic structure is the honeycomb has got hundreds and hundreds of small compartments, which is known as the comb. Something like that, small rooms there as if. So same like that in the apiary, in the apiary also similar type of a setup is tried to be made. Next is when we are talking about the concept of honeybees. Now, if a person wants to go for apiculture, artificial beekeeping, what should be in the surrounding more?
Plants.
Flowers.
Flowers, okay.
Flowering plants. Flowering plants with well-developed nectaries. That's a requirement. A person who wants to go for bee farming, beekeeping, he would love to set up his apiaries more and more near areas where there are large number of flowering plants. What is this called? This is called pasturage. Pasturage. What is this called? Pasturage. What is pasturage? Pasturage means the large number of flowering plants with nectaries. Now there are some flowering plants which do not have nectaries at all. There are some flowering plants which have a large number of nectaries. See, suppose I talk about the rose is a type of a plant which does not have too much of the hibiscus. I'm sorry, the hibiscus is type of a plant which does not have too much of nectaries, nectar producing glands are not there. But at the same time, you also come across that there is the jasmine, there is the rose. All these different type of plants, enough amount of nectaries are present. What are some of the products we get? The products we get from the process of apiculture is honey. What is the economic importance? You are always asked, what is the economic importance of honey? Honey very well helps in the treatment of cough and cold. Honey very well helps in the process of digestion. Honey helps in the treatment of various different type of chronic diseases, meaning certain type of diseases which the person is suffering from a long time. And honey at the same time is also used in variety of different type of food making. Apart from that, the bee wax. The bee wax. Now, from where will the bee wax be obtained? From the honeycomb. From the honeycomb, the bee wax. Now, this entire honeycomb that I talk about, this entire honeycomb is just like a spongy structure. So once the honey is mature, the bee has left the honeycomb. Now what will happen? This honeycomb will be cut out from the tree trunk or wherever, and then manually or with the help of machines, they are squeezed. All the honey is drained out. What is left is the wax part. That wax has to be melted, burnt, filtered, etc., etc. After that, the paraffin or the wax that has been formed, this is used for making various different type of products. Okay, look at some questions. Take out your notebook. Let us answer a few questions. Take out your notebook. Let us answer a few questions. Try number 3. Take out your notebook, all of you. Take. Find out. First of all, see this question. Read this question.
What is floriculture?
Floriculture. Class. Okay, see that? What is pasturage and how is it related to the quality of honey? What will you write answer? What is pasturage and how is it related to the quality of honey? The good quality nectar produced by plants. Now, all plants do not produce adequate amount of good quality nectar. Good quality nectar produced by plants the question is asking what is pasturage and how is it related to the quality of the honey? Pasturage refers to the flowering plants. Pasturage refers to the flowering plants which attract honeybees. Pasturage refers to the flowering plants which are attracted by honeybees, which are attracted by honeybees. Which are attracted by honeybees. Okay. How is it related to quality of honey? How is it related to the quality of honey? The quality of honey very much depends on the quality of the nectar. Quality of honey very much depends on the quality of the nectar produced by the flowers. Quality of honey depends on the quality of the nectar produced by flowers. Quality of honey depends on quality of nectar produced by flowers. Done. Now, next is what? We now talk about name a bee variety commonly used for commercial production.
Apis cerana.
Apis. Name a bee variety which is commonly used for commercial honey production. Apis indica. Apis dorsata is the most wild type of a bee. Apis dorsata is a very wild type of a bee. Indigenous variety Apis indica and exotic variety Apis mellifera both are very good for the production of honey. Why so?
Dorsata
is a very wild bee. It is wild, meaning once the honey has been formed, and they would generally not leave the honeycomb much faster. So even if the honey is mature, they remain. But within a particular time period, the honey has to be squeezed out and brought out. Right from the time the honeycomb has started developing, within some 7 to 8 months, it has to get over. Otherwise, that honey will not be a good quality, not fit for consumption. But this dorsata, it is very difficult. They would keep meandering near the honeycomb, and if at all they sting us, the sting is even more poisonous. So that's why we say it's a yeah. Next is why society would appreciate initiative of Rahul, and they sold flowers to florists in India. They felt that if they start beekeeping too, their income will increase. They obtain more information from the local officer. Why society would appreciate initiative of Rahul and Rachna?
Habitat for animals.
By growing more and more of flowering plants, they are giving shelter to many different animals, many different small animals, the birds and the butterflies and the worms and the caterpillar. They may get sheltered in that tree and trying to bring about ecological balance. So they are giving shelter to variety of animal forms. They are giving shelter to variety of animal forms. They are giving shelter to variety of animal forms and trying to bring about ecological balance.
They are given shelter
To variety of animal forms. Shelter to variety of animal forms and trying to bring about ecological balance. Trying to bring about ecological balance. Next, looking at this question, why is it necessary to do proper cleaning, maintaining sanitation, and spraying disinfectants in poultry farms? Why is it necessary to proper cleaning, sanitation, and spraying disinfectants so that The poultry, meaning the chickens, no? The poultry should not be infected by any different type of pathogens. If they are infected by different type of pathogens, then the quality of the egg as well as the meat, both are affected.
It can cause diseases.
Spread of diseases. Also, it can cause spread of diseases.
Can the pathogen spread from particular
Poultry. Poultry. Continue.
From one
Poultry to one poultry to another, or poultry to human?
one poultry.
Of course. When you talk about any type of a viral infection, a fungal infection, bacterial infection, one poultry to another, they immediately get transmitted. And what are some of the symptoms we get to see? First of all, the growth of the bird stops. The flesh growth, egg production stops, it decreases quite a lot. And bacterial infection, fungal infection is easily understood in the birds by the shedding of their feathers. Their feathers start getting shed. Shedding of feathers massively is a very important sign symptom that the birds are suffering from certain type of diseases. The egg production. Now the eggs at the time not safe to be consumed. The meat at the time not safe to be consumed. List the various factors responsible for. The loss of stored food. What did we learn? Loss of stored food grain. Can you tell me 2 or 3 factors which may be responsible for the loss of stored grains?
Insecticides.
Loss of food grains. To prevent the loss, we use insecticides and herbicides. But loss may be due to what?
Moisture.
Excessive moisture resulting in the fungal growth. Number 2.
A lot of fertilizers.
Question is loss of stored food grain. The food grains are already harvested, now in sacks and sacks put inside the storehouse.
Granary.
I mean, like the loss means these grains present
Getting spoiled. Under what different condition the grains which are, say suppose rice and wheat and paddy collected from the farmland and stored in the warehouses in big sacks. Do they get spoiled? Yes, always. 20-25% of the grains are always spoiled. And sometimes more than that. The more the spoilage and the wastage that side, the price of the grains in our market increases. The lesser the wastage, we get it at an affordable price. So most of the time, these farmers, they suffer from they get a good production, but because of improper habits and methods, the grains get spoiled. What are some of the reasons? The place where they are keeping the grains, adequate moisture if at all, fungal growth is obvious. Number 2, biotic agents like bacteria can damage them. Number 3, biotic agents like the rodents, the rats and the cockroaches. Yes, variety of this type of rats, fleas, cockroaches, etc. mites, they can very well eat up the grains and spoil the grains. Then what else? Any other abiotic factor responsible for the spoilage? Very low temperature also is responsible for spoiling. What can be done to prevent this loss? What can be done? 2 methods. What can be done to prevent the loss? The grains are to be sun-dried first and then stored. The grains are to be sun-dried. They should be sun-dried first. So yes, in our country and in other countries, first of all, sun-drying is very necessary. Sun-drying them in India it is very much practiced and also in other. So sun-drying them. Apart from that, what else? Fumigation. These methods we have studied. What is fumigation? In the warehouses, burn certain chemical substances, but these chemical substances will not allow the growth of rodents and mites and ticks and cockroaches, but with these fumigants prevent the growth of prevent the growth of this virus and the bacteria? No, fumigants will not prevent the growth of virus bacteria. So for that, what to do? Spray certain type of chemical substances. Name 2 common sources from which fishes are captured.
Marine
Capture.
agriculture, captive culture and
From captive and
culture.
Capture. 2 sources they are asking you. 2
That
common
is
sources.
marine and
capture.
freshwater.
Freshwater and marine. Why are mussels and shellfishes cultivated?
For
Mussels,
economy.
great economic demand. Mussels, meaning something like those mollusks and all, the snails and all in certain countries like China and all. These are of great demand. Mussels, oysters, mussels, and shellfishes. When we talk about shellfishes, like the prawns and the shrimps, they have got an outer covering.
crabs.
Crabs. Crabs, to some extent, the crabs. Lobsters, crabs, shellfishes, these are. So this has to be, the entire plastic-like carapace has to be removed out. And then the organisms to be consumed. Take some of these questions in your volume also. Check page 157. Read this, tell me if you are able to answer these questions. Read this on your own. Read this on your own. 157. Number 2. Number 2. Read from
This
here.
is different.
Huh?
This is different.
Page is different.
157 is now.
Now in 157 there is fill in the blanks.
Is it so?
Yes, ma'am.
Which page is this question? Acha, anyways, read from here. Later you can maybe.
154.
This is 154. Okay. Read this question. I want to.
Mahendra had a very good harvest. His son Narendra, who was studying in class 9, asked his father to store his 20 bags and spray insecticides and keep them in a well-ventilated dry warehouse. He told his father that storage grains are subjected to spoilage and this loss is around 9.3% annually. A. List 2 factors which are responsible for loss of stored food grains.
These 2 factors, what are those?
Humidity, high humidity, and the rats and
Biotic agents like rats, fleas, etc. Next.
How these factors affect the produce?
the food is infected and
How this
The food is,
produce, how these
the food
factors
is
affect the
spoiled
produce.
and it affects the loss.
High humidity results in fungal growth. High humidity results in fungal growth, not allowing. Now we are talking about the produce. The first question talks about what are the reasons for the loss of grains. And the second point says that how would the produce because of this factor be affected? Yes, humidity we said one factor. So because of high humidity, there may be fungal growth in the plants, and before they are fully ripe, the grains are fully ripe, the plants may start dying out. And yes, pathogens and bacteria, viruses are always known to eat away the plant parts, go through their stem, go through their branches, etc. Next is
Which characteristics of Narendra inspired him to help his father?
Which characteristic of Narendra inspired him to help his father? His awareness about
Farming.
He is aware. Check. He is just a 9th standard student, but now this is an application question where you get this type of question. You get that he is whatever little bit he had learned, he could apply his concept knowledge. No, he had learned little bit about farming, little bit, etc., and he could help his father by application of his concept. Come to the number 4 here. Read this number 4.
When the grains were harvested, the disposal of agriculture byproduct which were unfit for human consumption was a problem. Kellogg suggested his father they should have a poultry farm. Farmers took collective loan from government
Bank it should be, huh?
bank to set up a poultry farm. What was the advantage of suggestion to set up poultry farm? The byproducts which were getting disposed were used to
Can
feed
be used.
can
Make a use of them. Next, why is poultry farm? Why is the poultry farm done? Right to reason. Why is the poultry farm done?
the eggs even have great economical value as well because they are a high source of proteins and as well as and also
Demand of meat.
demand.
And
And
also
even
that
it is also a sector where less amount like more amount
a
of
very low protein diet is
protein diet is
necessary
where
for
high
the poultry, but they give rise to a very good quality protein, high quality protein. So that also has to be mentioned.
variety values of Kellogg due to which she was motivated to help the villagers.
Two values of Trilok is what? Number one was, what is he talking about that? Utilization of the
Resources.
resources. Number two, he is talking about awareness and improvement
Improvement in
in
the food
production.
resources.
Improvement in food production with
Utilization of the
the resources. The first point. Number 10.
Apart from manure,
This is a direct question. So far, 2-3 questions that we discussed, these are application questions. So this type of questions also you will get. But this is a direct question. What is it?
apart from manure, how are green manures and vermicompost significant for the crop production in agriculture? How green manure is produced?
How it is produced, you know. Apart from manure, how are green manures and vermicompost significant for crop production in agriculture? How are green manures and vermicompost
And green manures are manures which are made
the unwanted plants, made from the unwanted plants by
going
mixing
around
them with
by mixing them with the
the
soil
soil.
and
So why beneficial? Because we are
instead of
able to make the soil fertile without
using fertilizers.
without utilizing any economic fund. We are not using any separate economic funds. Number two,
Vermicompost is important as it has the
capacity of making the process of compost much faster.
faster. Even the earthworm help in
So
the
earthworms are used in this method, which can make the process of decomposition much faster. Much faster. NCERT questions are all solved here.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, check, go through all the answers. NCERT questions are all solved here. This remains as homework for you. Fill in the blanks. Tick karke rakho. Fill in the blanks. You write down there in your notebook. Fill in the blanks. True, false. This remains as homework for you. And these questions, quite a number of them would be overlapping. So go through this. This worksheet remains as homework for you. You will do, and the next class you will show me. Fill in the blanks, true, false, and worksheet remains as homework.
लिखने को कहा था ना सो मैं बोला जब वापस लिख कर आना फिर मैं बोर्ड पे बुलाऊंगा फिर कराऊंगा लिख समझ ये बाद में नहीं मिलेगा
सर बोले थे मैं सर से वापस पूछा मेरा चाचा तू पहले
अरे लाइन मिल जाता एकदम लास्ट में तो नहीं है।
पहली वाला है
अरे पिछले बार तो कोई नहीं थे।
अरे वही
अभी टेस्ट कहाँ से हुआ वही मार्क्स
अच्छा
जो है अक्टूबर में
इस बंदे को क्या देता है 18 में 50
तो फिर 8 मार्क्स बढ़ेंगे।
दिखाया फिर बढ़ने करके मेरा खुद का 4 मार्क्स बढ़ा है भाई।
अरे वही तो हमारे जिधर 39 40 जिनको मिल रहा था उन लोग को सीधा 47 गए। रीचेक किया पेपर सीधा 47। अरे इतना अरे देख पूरे पैराग्राफ में लिखा था ना। अरे सब लोग भी वैसा लिखा तो ना उसमें बस एक लाइन
ये रशी ये बता मुझे ये कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे। ये मेरे को समझ रहा है मैंने लिखा है मेरे को समझ रहा है बट नहीं समझ रहा मुझे ये अलग कैसे करेंगे। ये देख ये इसको हाफ डिवाइड कर यानी am equal to md है so bm equal to mc क्यों because radius are equal तो अगर हम bm minus am करेंगे तो हमें ab मिलेगा और अगर हम md minus mc करेंगे तो हमें cd मिलेगा। तो अभी इसको इक्वल कैसे प्रूफ करें इसको
क्या ना अगर माइनस अगर आंसर मिल जाना
बट माइनस करने के बाद कहाँ दिखा है कि वो इक्वल है
but AD is a chord and OM is perpendicular to AD. Therefore, OM bisects chord AD. So chord AD